We all know that Visco girl in our life with her hydro flask and reusable straw, but what if I told you she was actually making a difference? I'll come back to her in a second, but first I want to tell y'all about how our water supply, wildlife, and air quality are all at risk. As temperatures rise across the globe, people need to consume more water to maintain their health, resulting in an increase in water demand but a decrease in water supply. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, in the past 50 years alone, the southwestern US has experienced water shortages and an increase in severity and length of droughts. These longer droughts threaten crops, freshwater supplies, and wildlife. Just this year, Australia's fires harmed 3 billion animals. Something of this severity was only made possible due to the increase in temperature and the lack of water. Of the water we have left, its temperature is rising, altering latitude and depth at which species are able to survive. Mass Audubon says the result is species are moving deeper and farther north to find cold water. This can lead to major changes in the food chain, which we as humans are at the top of. But the rise in water temperature is not the only thing threatening our wildlife. There is more than 5 trillion pieces of plastic debris in the ocean, with 269 tons just floating on the surface. OceanCrusaders.org says there's 4 billion plastic microfibers per square kilometer littering the deep ocean that we can't even see. This level of trash buildup in our ocean is so bad that scientists have declared 200 areas as dead zones. This is a major problem for us. Just think about the raw, uncooked sushi you had for dinner and all the plastic waste the fish ate before it was caught. Another major factor in our climate crisis is air pollution. John Walk from the Climate and Clean Air Program at NRDC explains how not only does air pollution contribute to climate change, but it also exacerbates it as well. He goes on to explain how air pollution is in the form of carbon dioxide and methane raises the Earth's temperature, resulting in another type of pollution being worsened by that heat. The World Health Organization says air pollution leads to an increase in mortality from stroke, heart disease, lung cancer, and many other things. In David Wallace's book, The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming, is a great resource and read in general for anyone who wants to further their knowledge over global warming. But he also mentions an alarming statistic. Within a century, we can avoid 150 million premature deaths from air pollution. Now going back to your Visco friend. While using a metal straw and a reusable water bottle is not enough to stop global warming, it is spreading the word so other people can, like myself, can educate themselves on what they can do for the planet. The biggest thing you can do to make a difference is to speak to others about it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody who will listen. If it's something that you're passionate about, you shouldn't be ashamed to talk about it. The second thing you can do is think about the 5 R's every day. Refuse anything you do not need. Reduce the amount of stuff you buy, especially plastic. Reuse everything. Repurpose all your old clothing and furniture. And if you cannot do anything else with that item, you recycle. It should be your absolutely last resort. Some of the switches in everyday life to help prevent the increase in global warming is just not attainable for us college students. Like offsetting your carbon footprint, where you can calculate your footprint each month and pay to have it offset. But this is just an extra expense for many of us that we just can't afford right now. Or switching to a more fuel-efficient car is also unlikely for most of us. But if every American kept the tires properly inflated in their car, it would save 1.2 billion gallons of gas each year. And this will cost you nothing and it will save you money on gas. Maybe think about biking or walking to class instead of driving as an alternative. I know I said reusable cups is just not enough to stop global warming, but it will make a difference. According to eastcenter.colorado.org, Americans alone consume 8.6 billion gallons worth of water in plastic bottles each year. That requires 17 million barrels of oil and 340 million gallons of gasoline to produce. We use on average 500 billion single-use bags each year, and these just end up in the ocean destroying another animal's habitat. Maybe consider buying a few of the 99-cent reusable bags at the grocery store, but even this is unnecessary because people give them out for free almost anywhere you go. NASA experts believe we may be past the point of irreversible changes to our climate already. But if there is hope for our grandchildren to live a better life, I think it's worth trying. I encourage you to look into the swaps and changes that are attainable for your lifestyle and make the difference we need to see in the world. I'm going to leave you with this quote: in a world of more than 7 billion people, each of us is a drop in the bucket. But with enough drops, we can fill any bucket. David Suski.